Hello and welcome to the Health Oddity Podcast, episode 309. And today it is a host catch-up episode with myself and Mr. Peter Lant. I'll just quickly say hello to Mr. Peter
Hello.
Lant. Hello, he's waving, he's doing the old Vic and Bob. Hello. And we have, for the last 5 weeks, had some really varied guests in. So, episode 304, we're going to do our pick of the pops. Episode 304 was Carl Easton, and that was all about continuing to get fitter and challenging yourself, in your 60s. Episode 305 was Thomas Attig talking all about grief. Episode 306 was Dr. Paul Bedford talking about kind of the fitness business and the gym business and retention, but also habits and psychology and stuff like that around training and around fitness. Episode 307 was Hannah Camden, who was incredibly busy. We were talking about FitWorks training, KBX, the 24-hour charity Find Your Fit as well. And then last week, episode 308 was with Jay Nelson from New York by way of Trinidad, all about what happens after weight loss. And we talked a lot about kind of GLP-1 medication, and the way that he trains people and the kind of protocols and advice he was giving around those kind of weight loss medications at the moment. And today, as I said, it's the two of us kind of going over some bits, having a little catch up because we haven't had the opportunity for the last 5 weeks. And I am actually going to be seeing Pete in person in about 48 hours, almost exactly 48 hours, I think. Because we are both going to be at the Strongman Classic, the Giants live show at the Royal Albert Hall in London. Are you looking forward to that, Pete?
Yes, I am. It'd be great. I love it. I love it. Last year was my first one, and it's just great. So yeah, Ben will be there as well, probably, won't he?
Haven't you been the last couple of years to the Royal Albert Hall?
No, the Royal Albert. I've been to the Britain's Strongest Man a load, but then that was my first time going to that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but Ben Bradbury will probably be there when he goes every year, I think.
Ben will possibly be there. Yeah, a few of the members from the gym will be there as well. And no, it's going to be really good. And I think I said to you earlier, they just today, about a few hours before we're recording the podcast, they released the tickets for 2027 as well. So it's
I'll tell Sean. I'll be telling Sean about that.
yeah. So that's on. I think it's July the 10th, 2027. So I went on and booked tickets for that today, which is
I
really
saw
really.
a thing today as well. You know that thing on Facebook, the world's strongest man. There's somebody who puts it all together in one place. There's like a Facebook page for it.
Oh,
Have you
is it?
seen?
It's not the world's strongest fan, is it?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, the American coverage of the world's strongest man's getting shown this week, and it's got
Yes.
a picture of the winner holding the thing in the second place and third place. It's like, oh, no spoilers.
Yes, well, we obviously have to wait till Christmas, don't we, to watch it on
Yeah.
TV over here. But no, it's going to be really really good. And I've got Steph's dad to print off a few A4 color photos that I'm going to try and get signed. So I can put them on the wall at the gym from people I've not got autographs from yet and stuff. So no, it's gonna be great. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be fantastic. I think Loz and Liz will be there. Terry Hollands will be there. Obviously, everyone. Magnus is going to be there. So, yeah, loads and loads of people who we've had on the podcast will be there. It'll be a great, and it will. If it's like this, it's going to be a warm evening in there because it's always hot in there as well, isn't it? Because it's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah. It
an
will
old
be.
building
Sorry.
with which is very very warm, but it's spectacular. So that's great.
An old building with lots of fireworks going off and stuff like that. Indoors, like big plumes of like flames and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yes. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, since we obviously we've had a few things go on and a few things that are continuing to go on, but because we've had guests, we haven't chatted or talked about them. Yeah, sort of a couple of week and a half ago now, I had the Colchester Strongest Comp, which you mentioned, which I'd been training for, which was again, it was a day. It was probably similar to this. It was like high 20s, I would say. The temperature was all day, and it was almost like a school sports day. It was on a playing field, in the sun, and we just took some camping chairs and but we got there at 8:15 in the morning, and we didn't leave till 5:15 in the evening, and it was a long old day because you literally and you do 5 events, and each event lasts about a minute, but you do like one so the whole thing because the week before myself and Guillaume and Kane had done like a run through of all the events at the gym, and we did the whole thing in like 2 hours, including
Yeah.
warming up, setting the events up, putting their stuff away, setting the next event up, and it took 2 hours. So we were there, and literally it was like you did a minute's work, and then you just had to hang around for like an hour and a half,
Yeah.
and then you did another
Well,
minute, and then hung around for an hour and a half. But when that in that heat, it's really just draining as well, But
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That's the 100 meters thing, though, isn't it? You spend 4 years training to run
ten
like 10
seconds, yeah.
seconds.
Yeah, no, it was a good event. It was a good event though. It was absolutely fantastic, and no, it was really well run. And no,
Didn't you get a few PBs as well?
I did. Yeah, there was 5 events. I mucked up the first event, which was well, I mucked it up. The overhead, the log press, which I'd got. I think in practice, in training, I'd got 4 reps, which was as good as I'd done. And on the day, I only got 2 because I'd kind of cleaned the log up and it was on my chest, and you're looking up at the sky, but because it was on a playing field, it was uneven underfoot. It's not like you're training on a perfectly flat surface, and I really struggled to get my balance. And so one time I had the log on my chest for probably 10 seconds and didn't press it and had to put it down, and then that's tiring, and then you have to clean it up again, and I got it. But that was the worst event, which was the first one, obviously. And also I was quite nervous on that event because I knew it was my weakest event out of all 5, and it was first, so a bit of nerves as
Good to
well.
get it out of the way then, I
Yeah, so
suppose.
that one wasn't great, but all the others, so the next 4 events, I kind of got personal bests on. So there was a deadlift, then there was a yoke kind of carry, then there was a suitcase carry, which was quite good, which is like a one-arm farmer's walk. 20 meters in one direction, put it down, turn around, pick it up in the other hand, 20 meters back. And then there was a sled kind of push and then drag. Again, 20 meters pushing, 20 meters dragging. So I think all the other events I probably got personal bests in apart from the log. So no, it was a really good day. And now I've got my eyes on the next nuclear fit, which is in a couple, as we record, it's in a kind of a couple of weeks' time. So I've got myself running again, which is not my most favourite thing in the world at the moment. But it's a necessity. It's something that needs to be done, which we'll talk about. Actually, we'll talk
You
about
can
that.
call yourself a proper strongman now because you don't like running.
Yeah. Well, it's like one of those things. Once you get into it again, it's okay, but it's getting into
Yeah.
it again, and it's like what we're going to talk about this in a bit, which was I suppose, without going too far into it, the have to versus want to, because
Yeah.
I've committed to do this thing, the nuclear fit, I have to do some running and have to be able to run. So there's a bit of pressure on me to do it, but it's not what I would choose to do. Although I suppose I have chosen to do it because I've signed up for the event, in the same way that when we talk about what we're going to talk about in a minute, it's the same for you. So,
I suppose
firstly,
it's an integrity thing, isn't it? You said you would do it, so you've got to do it. Unless you get injured or
yes,
something and you can't do it, which happened last year for you, didn't it? But this year you've
yeah.
said I'm going to do it, and then
Well,
you
I
go,
did it. I did
"Hey,
one in
I wish I
May.
hadn't have done, but I have, and
Yeah,
I'm going to have
yeah.
to.
Yeah, so I did one in May, and then I've got one in July, and then I've got one in September as well. So three nuclear fits, and again, I've been kind of not talked into it. But some of the guys from the gym, obviously, like Steve Bush, Carl, people who've been on the podcast before, Laura Shanks, all those guys are doing it, and I said I would do it. So, like I say, said I'd do it, signed up for it, so now I'm committed to it, and it's not as bad as like we're going to talk about with your challenge that you're doing at the moment. Um, Once you get going, once you get moving, it's not as bad as you envisage, really. But just quickly before we get onto that one, I just saw today that you had a personal lifetime personal record on your kettlebell pressing. So for the first
Yep.
time ever, you did 5 sets of 5, left and right, kettlebell presses with the 36 kilo bell, which is the
Yep.
equivalent of half of your body weight. And I think you've done it before on the right. side, but never
I've
before
done
on
I've
the left
done I've
side.
done
Is
five
that right?
sets of 10 on the right.
Yeah.
36 is easy on my right. My left, I fell over snowboarding years ago and landed like that. Probably broke a rib. I don't know
Mm,
because it never got checked, and there's bugger
mm,
all you can do about it anyway, isn't there? But I've had problems with that shoulder ever since.
mm,
I lost like I, I had a real problems with that shoulder after that, and I couldn't sleep. I lost loads of sleep. I became basically insomniac, taking
mm.
painkillers and everything. This was like 2011 or something like that, and it's never been the same since. And actually, I've got a lump in the rib. When I hang off a bar, I'm wonky. I can see that my right rib side of my rib cage, like that's my stronger side, that sticks out. This bit kind of sinks back. So there's
Mm.
loads wrong. It's
Yeah.
like really off kilter, but it's how it is,
Yeah.
isn't it?
But no, that. But how long? I mean, you've been following programming from Paul McElroy for 5 years now, I suppose, around that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
Five
yeah.
or
So
eight, yeah.
it's a long time, but it's great that you're still having these, and like what it's perpetual strength, isn't it, or easy strength, whatever you want to call it. But it's that kind of continual,
Yeah.
steady progress. And we're going. So what we'll do, we'll talk about this now because you've from sort of in May, you took up this challenge, which I believe is it a charity challenge that you've done?
Yeah, there's a couple of charities here. So there's a little bit involved in it, but there's a lady called Annie Legg, who has got I think her niece committed suicide um 5 or 6 years ago, maybe it's a bit longer than that. And she wanted to do something for these young persons mental health charities. So there's Mentoring Plus and Off the Record. I think they're national charities, but there's obviously the Bath like
Local branch, as it were.
local branches.
Yeah.
So Mentoring Plus, Off the Record, and they both help. They've got like area spaces within Bath where young people can go. Safe spaces, all of that sort of stuff. So kids who are struggling at school, mental health, ADHD, all those sorts of things.
Hmm.
So they help with all of that, and it's really good. So she produced these. There's two of them, and they're called the Bath 5K maps. So they're ordnance survey maps with 5K walks on. 20 on the first one, 20 on the second one.
Hmm.
She produced both of those, and she sells them, and the money goes to Mentor and Plus, and off just Mentor and Plus, I think, or it
Hmm.
might be both of them. But they've made like 10 grand off that or something over that time, 6 or 7 years. But she started this 100K challenge to basically walk 100K over summer for people who don't necessarily get out and all that sort of stuff.
So just because
Um,
I was doing some maths earlier, just for people listening, that's about 62 and a half miles.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So
Cool.
every year they say right, they'll do a launch event, walk 100K, and then people sign up to do it, create a page and all that. There's a giving page and all that, and then they get cracking. But
Hmm.
obviously, I would do that like no problem. So I said, right, well, I'll do 100K a week for 15 weeks. um, yeah,
So I think as we record this, you're kind of 7.5 weeks in, and
yes,
you've walked 750 kilometers,
yes,
which so that is 100K per week. It's 62.5 miles per week, and I worked out averaged out over the 7 days. It averages at 9 miles a day, sort of
yeah,
every day.
basically
Yeah,
every day
yeah.
for 15 weeks,
150
whatever that
days.
is.
100. No, more than 150. Well, 15 weeks. Yeah, yeah.
Less than
Uh,
150, but yeah,
yeah, 15 weeks. Yeah. So
yeah,
you are kind of you're halfway. Well, yes. So if you've done 7.5 weeks, you are exactly halfway through, aren't you?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, pretty much.
750 kilometers. You're doing yeah, 1,500 kilometers, and you're 7.5 weeks in. So, and you've started doing these kind of these little posts where you say kind of 7 lessons from the last 7 weeks of doing this walking. And it's quite interesting because you love walking, obviously. Well, I presume you do love walking, don't you? You do a lot of it.
No, I hate it. I love. I'm a masochist, is what I am.
Yeah. So you love walking, but I think you said that when you have this kind of you've set yourself this target, and then you've actually got like it's not just going out for a walk to enjoy it. There's now a degree of an element of pressure
Yeah,
involved. And it's kind of slightly, well, changing your relationship with walking or the way you look at walking. So let's talk about some of these lessons that you've learned so far. So I think they're kind of universal lessons that
Absolutely, yeah.
most
That's why
people
I
can,
started doing it because it
yeah,
was, yeah,
and they can be applied to any type of training, to any type of endeavor, or just to kind of life and managing your life, I think. Um,
yeah,
so if we go through a few of them and you maybe can expand upon it and kind of why how you came up with it and why you think the first one I got written down is it's easier to keep up than to catch up. So
yeah.
talk to me about that.
Well, so last week, as we record this, it was 36 degrees. So to going out for a walk in 36 degrees isn't very nice. So I was having to do this. There's a few other lessons come in. They all kind of mix into each other, but I was having to get up early to take Sid out for a walk and get the walks in early. So I was having to get up at 5 and take him out for a walk to get home before like 9 o'clock when it was already like 30 degrees basically.
Mm,
Or they're getting towards that. So I had to get him out and back home early, and then I couldn't take him out again. So I did fewer miles last week. So I had to make up. I'm making up for it this week as we
mm,
record. So I've been going out again, getting up early this week to go out and do more miles.
mm,
So, but the thing, because if I don't do that this week, I'm going to be chasing it each week, and I just
mm.
want to get it done. So there's
You want
two.
to catch up. You want to catch up this week on
Yeah.
what you missed last week. So when it comes to like next Monday, you are fully caught up and you just need to go back
Yes.
to a standard week. Okay.
And the reason why I'm doing that is because it'll probably get hot again, and I'm going away on holiday, and I will be walking, but we'll be walking mountains, so we'll not be doing as many miles. And it's all based off. It's not based off steps or anything. It's off what goes on Strava for me.
Mm,
That's what I've
mm,
said I'm going to base it on. So I'll probably do fewer miles while I'm away for 2 weeks as well. So I'll have to catch that back up when I get back off that. So I don't want to be adding that to this as well, because otherwise I'll be a week or two behind, and I don't want that to happen.
mm,
So there's two ways
mm,
of looking at that. You can either so for me, I'll just catch it up this week because I've been able to, because it's holidays. The people who are trained, a lot of them are away and stuff like that. So I've actually got a load of time.
mm.
So I thought, well, I might as well. Um, or I could have split it up over the next 2 or 3 weeks and said I'll catch up 15K a week or something like that
Mm.
over the next, because I've got to catch up 50K, I think.
Would you consider trying to get ahead of yourself before you go on holiday, or is that too? Do you know what I mean?
I was already ahead of myself. I was 20K ahead.
Ah, okay, okay,
And
okay.
I dropped 50K last week. So I was 30K behind. So I'm trying to make the 50 back up. So then I've got a little bit, it's like a bank account or whatever. I've got a little bit to play with.
Got a bit of a
That's
buff. We've got a bit of a buffer there, yeah.
so
So if you happen,
the first week I did it, I did 120K and I was like, right, I've got that in the bank now. So done. Brilliant.
yeah. And you mentioned, I think you meant before we started recording, you said this isn't done on your overall walking and the incidental walking and like walking to the shops or walking to the pub or walking wherever. This is specifically when you set your Strava that you are going out on a walk. So it's
Yeah.
not like for most of us and for yourself as well, when we talk about a step count, the step count kind of just accumulates throughout the day when you're pottering around the house or the garden or taking the kids to school and coming back or popping to the shops and coming back. Whereas this, so in reality, you're actually going to do a lot more than 1,500 kilometers, aren't you? Because you're not
Yes,
actually tracking all of the other incidental walking that you're doing. It's purely when you go out for an intentional walk.
exactly. And this was where it wasn't a surprise, but I just decided to do it off like one morning. I went, well, if I figure it out, it's roughly about 1,500K. That's 15 weeks, blah, 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 blah. I'll do that. And it's linked to 100K, but it's a different way to do it. So I just put it on Facebook and said, here's what I'm going to do. And then I looked at the numbers and I was like, hang on, if it's going on Strava, I've got to do way more miles than I already do. So yeah. So I was like, right, okay, I'm in it now. So I've just got to do it.
And what was
Um,
the feedback? So, like, there's other people around Bath who are going for this 100 kilometers in the kind of May to September, this window that you're doing it in. Um, And what do many people know that you're going to go for that 100 kilometers every week for 15 weeks? And if so, what's the feedback been, or what's the comments been that you
It's
get?
it's funny because a few people do, and it's kind of like, it's a challenge. But a few
Mm.
people are like, "Well, you do loads anyway, so it's probably okay." And I'm like, "That's what I thought," and it's actually been a surprise because it's not. I don't do that much.
Mm.
I do a lot, but I don't do that much. And because,
It's a
like you
step up.
say,
It's a step up for you. It's
it
not.
is.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's extra miles, but it's that's why I've done the lessons because it's a learning process. So I've
Mm.
learned to keep my mouth shut. Number one. um, but no, it's just been really interesting because it's something that I do all the time, but it's just changed it for temporarily for
Mm.
summer, which
Mm.
is interesting because I was saying a few months ago that I'd probably do fewer steps in summer anyway because it is warmer and it's you sweat more and all that, and I actually quite like going out in the winter because you can walk for miles and you don't overheat and you don't
Mm.
need loads of water and all of that. But so it's made me have to come up think about strategies of being out a lot in
Mm.
the warm weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, been
And
interesting.
the second one that I've got written down is short-term priorities. So
Yes.
what's the thing? What's that?
Well, again, that is because a lot of people, and I used to do this. You'll be like, "All right, I've got a busy week this week. I've got to do something." And then next week will be busy, and then next week will be busy, and then you just end up in this cycle of busyness,
Mm.
and then you burn out, right? And I did that years ago. So this is kind of if so this week I've been catching up, right? It's easier to keep up than catch up. It's all linked. It's easier to keep up than catch up. If I was trying to catch up every week from now on, or every week from the very beginning, like people set a challenge, or set a goal, and then they go, right, I've set that now. And then they don't start straight away. I started that very day, but they'll start like, they might go, oh, well, I've done that now. So I'll just, and then a few weeks down the line, you're like, oh, I should probably do something about this. And then you're already chasing yourself, and
Mm.
then that's where burnout happens and everything because you've got life to do as well. You've got kids to look after, you've got dogs to walk, you've got work to do, you've got shopping to do, you've got to take the kids to like games and all of this. So all of a sudden you're trying to fit it around that, and it's like that it's not going to work because you're already chasing after it. So the short term priority is like, so for me with this, it's going to be over 15 or 16 weeks. It'll probably be 16 weeks because that's around 1,000 miles then. And I'll, I'll do that in my head. But the, what was I going to say? I've lost my train of thought there, but it's,
Short-term priorities we were on.
yes. So
Yeah.
catching up this week, if I had to do that every week for the next 6 or 7 weeks, I'd be really tired.
Mm.
So I'm tired this week, but then next week I get back into the flow of it because 100K it's not that easy to do. It's easy to do, but it's time consuming and tiring, but it's not as tiring as catching up. So the short term priority is this week is to catch up and then get back into the flow again next week. So not have to cane it for the next 8 or 9 weeks, because then by the time
Mm.
September, October rolls around, I'll have to stop. I'll just be out, and I don't want
Yeah.
that to happen. I want to keep doing stuff. So that's
Yeah.
why.
So
But I
the
think,
next one I thought was quite interesting because I think it's how people maybe feel about going to the gym, or any kind of people who are trying to do some exercise or trying to change their life. And I've just written down have to versus want to changes your relationship with the thing, in your case, the walking, and
yep,
how that added pressure of, like you said, because you've made a public, we spoke about this before, you've made a public commitment that you're going to do this. So
yep,
it then puts a degree of pressure on you to do it, and it changes the dynamic a little bit, and your, like I say, your relationship with walking. Because yeah, maybe just talk to us a little bit about this, because it's quite interesting, I think, and it can apply, I think, to many people regarding many things.
yeah. I'm having to fight. So I enjoy it. If it's chucking it down outside and all that particular day when I'm not doing all this thing, I might like look at Sid and just go, do you know what? We'll just watch a film. We'll not go for a walk today because we don't have to go every day, you know. But if it's chucking it down for a week, we're going to go out in it, right? We're going to go out in the rain. But some days, you know what it's like. I mean, I'm not that bothered about bad weather, but you look out and you just go, I really can't be bothered today, right? I can't really do that. I can do that in the heat because that's dangerous. But I can't really do that at the minute. If the weather's, I've got to go out and do the miles because I said I would, right? And people have sponsored me. People have actually paid money into this, so I've got to do it. So the I've lost the thread again. This is because I've been doing so much walking. What was it again?
It was about how it changes your relationship with
Yes.
the idea of walking. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I've had to do is, so usually I'll just go out and go like, oh, today I'll go and do like 5 miles. And if I've got to 5 miles and I fancy doing a few more, I'll do a few more. Or I'll just do that and come home. So I can roughly pick a route. I know loads of routes and I'll just go and do it. Whereas now I'm like, right, I've got to go out and I've got to do 11 miles. And then I get to like 8 miles and I'm like, I don't want to do anymore, but I do it. So I've had to find ways of making it enjoyable. Even though I do enjoy it, but it's changing my relationship with it. And I wouldn't want to do this forever because then it would make me hate the thing. But it's just interesting because I can say what it's making me do is go like today I'm going to go do 11 miles. I did today, but I can do it flat. I know a route that's flat because it's warm and I don't want to be doing hills because it'll just be too hard. Because I did a load of hills yesterday because we did a walk last night, so I had to go and do that. So it makes you start to think about like different routes. So I've discovered different areas that I haven't been to before. Even though I've been everywhere around here, I'm finding new places as well. So it's just changed my relationship again because I've done that. I do that as well, but not necessarily as often. But because I'm going to have to be out and about, I might as well go and find new places. You know, so some days I'll go off discovering. Other days I haven't got as much time, so I need to walk faster. So I'll go and do a different, like a flat route to make it quicker. So it's just made me more like think about it more, as in more creative with where I go. So it's just been interesting because, like, you know, people have the same walk and they go and do the same walk over and over and over and over again, and then they might join something like what we do and find one more and go, oh, I'm going to do that one now as well. So they've got two. But this has made me like find loads more. So now I can go in any direction. It's brilliant.
And I think as well, I think the whole purpose of this being, like you say, a public declaration, something you're doing for charity. We've spoke about Viktor Frankl many times, you know, this man's search for meaning. And if you have, you know, a strong enough why or a strong enough reason, then you'll find a way to do it. And it's very much that, isn't it? I think, because you've got this, you're doing it it's for something bigger than yourself, you know, and it will say you've made that public declaration. So then you can endure more and, like you say, be more imaginative with it and come up with more routes and just find a way to do it, you know.
But it's funny as well because it's kind of changed my relationship with it a bit, but it's really good because I'm that guy. I'm the walking guy because I'm building a business around it. So I have to be that guy, right? So this has made me even more of that. For me anyway. It doesn't matter what, like, other people might see that, they might not. It doesn't matter. But it's made it for me, this is kind of, it's made me want to do it even more, actually.
Yeah, you are walking the walk, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean? You are
Exactly.
being, you know, like what was the word? Integrity and congruent and all those kind of words that, you know, that you talk
Yeah.
about the benefits of walking, and you are truly showing that and living that, which is
But
great.
it's one of those things because those are words that, you know, like people can throw around, and it's like, yeah, but just you don't need to say any of those things. You just go and do it. And then if you're doing it, you don't need to say anything.
Yeah,
Basically, you just go and do it.
yeah.
So that's what's happening, and it's just good because whether like people might see it, they might not. I don't know. I just put stuff out there. So every week I just put out, here's how many miles I've done. Here's the challenge. It's for these charities. If you want to donate, here's the link, and that's it. But I'm not putting that in the group for Walking Souls because I don't want to pressure people. I'm just putting that on my personal page. You know, people will see it or not. and that's it.
Are there
You know,
many people in the walking solves, the walk bath kind of community that are doing that are doing the 100 kilometers over the summer? Have you got people doing that
there's
as well?
do you know there's we were involved to get people. They asked us to be involved to get people to do it. But people do it anyway. This is the thing.
Mm,
Our guys do that anyway.
mm,
So there's not as many as you would think because
mm.
they come out with us a couple of times a week. So it's not really a challenge for them. So for them to ask people to sponsor them to do 100K in the next 3 months,
They're going to
it's not.
do that anyway. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So it's kind of, but it's not necessarily for them as well. Anyway, it's for people who don't necessarily get out. You
Mm.
know, because
So
like
it's
because like I
good.
say, the young person's mental health charity. So it'll be to get. It's kind of to encourage, I think, more parents to take kids out and go for a walk and stuff. And kids aren't going to want to do 20 miles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, this is interesting then that we just touched upon it there that it it's a challenge, but for you, the challenge, the set challenge wouldn't have been a challenge. So you've made it
No.
more difficult. And for some of your members in the Walking Solves community, like you say, it wouldn't have been a challenge. But what was the Japanese kind of philosophy that you talked about, which is around all set around this kind of thing?
Yeah, it Misogi. So I read about I know about that because of there was the comfort crisis, Michael Easter, the book he wrote. So about everyone's comfortable. Everyone likes comfort, don't they? And it's like we've become obsessed with comfort. And we don't like being uncomfortable. Whereas actually being uncomfortable is where growth happens, doesn't it?
Mm.
So Misogi, I don't know a lot about it because I've just looked it up just before this, as you know, because we were doing that. Because I was like, if I'm going to talk about it, I need to know what it is. But actually, I don't. Because I looked it up and it said something about cleansing and washing and stuff. And I was like, that's not what I thought it was. Because I think it must mean something else as well. But I think it's like setting yourself a challenge and you've got like a 50-50 chance of completing it. But I think it's also setting yourself a challenge that you do on a specific day. That's what I've just read about it. And that's not what I'm doing. So
Mm.
it's a challenge that you got a 50-50 chance. I'm getting spasms in my hand from pressing this morning.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
it's a 50-50 chance of completing it on a specific day. But what will happen is you'll learn something along the way, whether you you complete the challenge or not.
Mm.
So this isn't that exactly, but it's kind of that. It's like I think I'll complete this challenge, but at the point now, it's harder than I thought it was going to be, and it's not hard because of going walking. It's hard because of the mentality of getting out of bed and getting out of the house and
Mm.
putting the hours in because it's actually a lot more challenging in that respect than I thought it was. So it's more mentally challenging than physically challenging.
Mm.
Um, and so that just made me think about it. Like it's the so that was another lesson, wasn't it? Was doing something consistently over a long period of time is is for me is harder than doing the grand gesture of the thing on the day.
Mm.
At your competition, right? And I'm not saying it's easier or harder or whatever,
Mm.
because you do the training all the way up to it,
Mm.
but it culminates on one specific day when you have to do these things.
Mm.
And if you do them really well, that's great. And if you don't, you'll learn something. And then the next time you'll try and do something. So there's no actual culmination in this. It goes and goes and goes, and then it ends. And that's it. You've either
Yeah,
done it.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but for me, for me, I think I learn more. Well, no, it's different. It'll be different. You learn
yeah.
different things along the way. But for me, it's just a nice process to do it because 16
Mm.
weeks is quite a long, well, 15, 16 weeks is quite a long time to
Mm.
be doing something that you do want to do, but not wholly want to do.
Yeah, well,
If
it's
that
like
makes
you're not going to want to do it every day, are you?
sense.
It's like anything, isn't it? It's like training, going to the gym, going for your walk, go swimming, whatever you people do, go swimming, do the yoga, whatever. Um, you don't always wake up in the morning, can't wait to do it, do you? You have to. I suppose it's the discipline, it's the consistency, it's all those things we spoke about so much already, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
no one wakes up. But I think what was really interesting was that it has to be hard enough that it's like you say, you that 50-50. You might do it, you might not do it. It is good because some people set themselves a challenge that they know they're going to do. Like you say, if your guys set themselves this challenge, well, they probably do it anyway without any real effort because it's what they do anyway.
yeah,
Or people very often go the other way, and they go from being a total couch potato to say, right, in 3 months, I'm going to run a marathon in sub 4 hours or something. And they set themselves a really difficult challenge, which
yeah.
then becomes demotivating when they don't achieve it. So I think actually it's really nice to try and find something. And the message is to try and find something that is a stretch, but is achievable, you know.
There's something I heard a while ago, and it's because you said like people will do the couch potato marathon or whatever.
Mm,
That's very common. But what's also common is what you just said. People choose easy hard.
mm,
So I'm going to do something hard, but they choose something that they know that they can do anyway, and they'll just say, but it's hard for someone else, and it's like, yeah, but for you, it's the easy option. So pick
mm.
something slightly harder than that, and then go for
Yeah.
that. So yeah, something that you know you can do is the easy thing. But
Yes,
the
and
funny thing
that's
is with this, I wanted to get not creative with it, but I was like, right, how can I use the 100K? So I was like, well, I'll just do it every week. And I thought that was an easy, hard option, to be fair, but it's not. Turns out it's harder than it's harder than I thought.
yeah. I was just going to Shane Nugent posted something earlier today. I'm just going to try and find it, but it was around nutrition and things.
Yeah,
It may be one of his. Oh yeah. Um, it's about if I could offer one piece of advice for your weight loss, it would be this: take your time. Stop aiming for losing as much weight as possible in as short a period of time as possible. Focus on consistency, not speed. Aim for results for the next 10 years plus, not the next 10 weeks. Could the quick fix after quick fix cycle be the real reason for your failure to date? Worth a thought. And that's kind of interesting because it's exciting for people, like you say, to go for the heroic short-term effort, isn't it? Like, right, lose as much weight as you can in the next 4 weeks or the next 6 weeks or the next 10 weeks. But actually, if you're going to say, well, actually, I'm going to be consistent for the next 10 years, that's not so exciting. And it takes a lot more discipline. You know what I mean? It's a different mindset. It's like the walking mindset that you've got at the moment. There's not like a
yeah.
short-term payoff, it's just doing it consistently, isn't it?
It's more scary though as well, isn't it? Because it's a huge investment. If you say I'm going to do something for 10 years,
Mm.
it's like you need to be on a different level of mindset for that, of being able to do that, don't you? Because
Yeah.
I'm going to dedicate the next 10 years to this thing.
Well,
That's
you have
not
to have
easy.
that long-term mindset, don't you?
Yeah.
Which you spoke about a lot before, which when we talk about it, we say, right, we're going to be training for the next 50 years, hopefully. And
Yeah.
once when you expand, when you have that kind of mindset, what you do in the workout today is less important, isn't it?
Well, this is the thing. It kind of, how would you describe it? Yeah. You can say you're going to do something like that, and then you just forget about it because it's going to be something that you do anyway. You just do
Mm,
it. It's like the character. You become that character, don't you?
mm,
Of that person.
mm,
I mean, there's all sorts of things, isn't there? They talk about the Dilts model with this and all of that, don't they? You pick a character and then you say, right, what would this character do? And you do that. But you don't instantly become that character. You have to put the miles in. You have to put the effort in. Um, but and at the start, it's like everything else. At the start, it's kind of um, you have to have a procedure, a process. You get up in the morning, you're like, right, what's my thing? What's my two things that I'm going to do in the morning? Like simple things like drink a glass of water or whatever and do some stretches.
mm.
That can be a thing, right? Or take me creatine or have a cold shower or whatever it is. Those things. And then once they become, it's like the habit. It all goes together with everything, doesn't it? Like the habit stack and all of this stuff is part of the same thing. The James Clear, the habit stacking stuff. It's like You get up in the morning, you do those things, and then when they become things that you just naturally you get out of bed and don't even think about it. That's part of your character of the person you want to become now.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, you are the
that's
walking guy, aren't you? Like you said,
yeah, but
you
that's
are the
stage
walking guy.
one, isn't it? And then stage two is the next habit and the next habit, and then once they become that thing, you don't even think about necessarily. You think about who you're going to be in 10 years' time, but you don't dwell on that. You just wake up in the morning and go, right, I'm going to be that in 10 years' time. Okay, but today I just need to drink a glass of water or whatever, and
Mm.
then and it takes away the having to think about all of the things that guy does. You think about the first thing that guy does in the first day. What did that guy do 10 years ago on day one? But it's hard to
Mm.
look. It's easier to look back on that once you've done it, but going ahead is really scary because you're
Mm.
like, if you go way ahead and you go, that guy gets up at 5 in the morning, drinks a glass of water, does 100 push-ups, does pull-ups, does this, does that, does like whatever, it's like, it goes to his business that he created 10 years ago and it's making millions and da 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 and all of that. And you're like, Jesus Christ, I can't do that. I can just about drink a glass of water here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's that's the gap, isn't it?
Mm.
And that's the bit that you've got to close. So you make the gap, what you're going to do today or what you're going to do in
Mm.
the next week or even or whatever. So
Mm.
yeah.
No, it's great. Really, really good. I mean, it's, and they say, don't they, the most powerful two words in the English language is I am, so however you
Yeah, yeah.
identify or your character, like you said, I am the walking guy, and once I am the walking guy, but, if you said, I am an overweight type 2 diabetic who's depressed and this, that, and the other, you know what I mean? It's the label you give yourself, the character you give yourself, that what you identify as, what you associate with. Um, it comes down to that character again, doesn't it? That long term.
Do you know what's funny though? Because you get the thing of that's the easy thing to become, right? The overweight, out of shape, whatever.
Mm.
Doesn't do anything, doesn't do any exercise. That's easy because you just do now and eat loads. That would be really hard for me. It would probably be hard for you because we're not that. I
Yeah.
I was close to it years ago, and actually, it would probably that would have been really easy for me to get into. But then I changed who I wanted to
Mm.
be,
Mm. Mm.
and then did the things slowly over time. And I think you did the same as well because you were quite a big fellow, weren't you, at one
Yeah,
point?
yeah, but that was more through like eating intentionally to get big for other stuff
Right.
I was doing. Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, I was still training hard in the gym and playing rugby and all that stuff, but I was trying to just put loads of size on, so I was eating whole
Yeah.
chickens and drinking, liters of chocolate milk and all that sort of stuff. Um, which was
I can just imagine sitting there, this big blob like that. It's
which
like,
was hard,
what are
which
you
was
doing, James?
hard.
You're in the fitness industry. It's like, I'm putting size on.
Yeah, but it was hard. That was an
Yeah.
effort. That was an effort back in the day. I remember I told you I spoke about it before on the podcast when I was at university, and I was very slim playing rugby, and the South African trainer said, just before you go to bed, get yourself a massive jacket potato, whole tin of beans, loads of cheese on top, eat it in bed, and then don't even wash it up. Just put it by your bed and just go to sleep. So you just take in like
How do
you
you
take.
sleep after that?
Well, I know, but he's literally used to say he was a proper old school, like South African kind of guy, and he was like, you literally. His name was, I think his name was Blake. Blake, yeah, and he used to just say, right, just eat, literally sit up in bed, eat it on a tray, and then just put the tray by your bed and just turn the light off and just go to bed. So you've just consumed like 2,000 calories and then you go to sleep on it, and then
It's not, it's no, that's not the problem. It's because you've consumed it after 8 p.m. You see, there's a golden rule, isn't there?
but that was the desired effect to put weight on. That
All
was
right,
he was
yeah.
saying that is what to put weight on. That is what you need to do. But that was going. This is
Brilliant.
going back. God, it's going back nearly 30 years now, probably 28 years, something like that. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
a long,
things have
old,
changed a
old,
bit since then.
proper old school. Yeah, yeah.
But
Anyway,
no,
that was.
like I say, that like for me going back towards that, I wasn't exactly that, but going towards that now would be hard.
Mm,
and the funny thing is, it doesn't mean like getting up early like to do things that you don't necessarily want to do is any easier. It's just it makes that the thing. That's the thing that you want to do more than the other thing.
Mm,
It's weird. It's weird how there's so many ways of explaining this, but like obviously you can be explaining it from one side to people on the other side, and if you're that person on the other side, you kind of like, I get that, but I'm nowhere near that. I've got a guy. One of the guys at the minute is going to take a month off work to sort himself out.
mm,
And a couple of people were like, "Oh, well, yeah, good idea," and that. And I just said to him, and he didn't quite get it, but he does now. I was like, "Why? What? Why? Go on."
mm.
And he's like, "Well, that's not very helpful, is it?" I'm like, "But why? What are you going to do? You can take a month off, but if you sit in your pants and watch TV all day, like you watch Homes Under the Hammer and This Morning and all of that,
Yeah, so what's the plan? What's the steps?
yeah,
What's the plan?
what are you
Yeah,
going to do?"
yeah,
And he was like, well, "I don't know." And I'm like, "Well, you better figure it out before you get off. You get the time off."
yeah.
So now, so over the last few, because this guy, he's got a lot of stress in his life at the minute, which is beyond his control, and he wants to take back a bit of control. Right? He just wants like, he's like, I want to do something for myself, and I never do that. And he's got like kids who are now grown up and at university and stuff. But he's also got his mother-in-law's ill and all of this, right? So there's lots going on that he can do that about. So he's just stressed. So he's taken a month off to look after himself. And I was like, that is great. And then again, like, what are you going to do? So over the last few weeks, I don't necessarily mention it and he'll bring it up. And then he said, oh, it's finally happening. And I was like, right, have you got a plan? And then he said, yes, I've got this. And it was literally like drink a glass of water, stretch. So he's got like stuff he's going to do. He's going to get up at 6 and do stuff before 10 a.m. Very simply.
Mm,
So I was like, I opened up Messenger and I was like, tell me what you're going to do. So I wrote it down in a schedule in Messenger and sent it to him and was like, right, I'll text you at 11 o'clock every day and ask you if you've done them.
mm.
There you go. So that's the way it's going to work. Right.
Yeah.
But that's the very beginning because he's been trying to do this for years and it's just not
Mm,
happening. It just doesn't happen.
mm.
He keeps talking himself out of it. So I'm like, right, let's do it then. It sounds like you're finally ready.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe he is. Yeah, mate, hopefully he is. You'll have to, without keeping his anonymity, you'll have to
Yeah.
keep us posted on how he's doing because that's interesting. Yeah, really
No,
good.
no, yeah. Because
Fantastic.
he's been wanting to do something like this for like I've known him for years, but it's like it's one of those things, isn't it? People will be like, just tell me what to do, and it's like I can tell you a million ways to do it,
Mm,
but if you don't, if you don't believe it and you don't want to do it, you're not going to do it. So there's no point. I can't convince you. But he's now at the point where he's coming in and be like, right, I'm ready now. I want to do it. And it's like, right, let's
mm,
get going. So the goal as well is he's had high blood pressure. He's had there's lots of things like, he's a big lad. He's got varicose veins in his legs and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, right. At the end of the 30 days, what do you want to happen? And it's not like, do you want to lose weight? Do you want to whatever? And he's like, I want to see if my blood pressure's gone down. I want to see if it's manageable. I want to see if I can come off blood pressure medication. I want to see all of that stuff. So there's no strength goal involved. I want to sleep better because he's developing sleep apnea because
mm.
he's overweight as well. All of these things, it's like he wants to get that. I want to sleep better. I want my blood pressure to be lower. I want to be off blood pressure medication. I think that's probably it actually. And if you can do that in 30 days of
Getting out walking every single day
yeah,
in nature, like you already do,
yeah,
like you say, doing some stretching, tidying up his diet, drinking more water,
yeah,
all of
yeah,
that, sleeping well, all those basic things, eating
yeah.
well. In 30 days, you can have a huge turnaround, especially if you've not got to worry about working at all.
Because that was the thing. I was like, at the end of 30 days, your blood pressure's down. You're not necessarily off the medication, but you're getting there. Is that going to make you keep wanting to do it? And he's like, well, yeah. There you go then.
Mm,
Because you could easily lose like a couple of stone in 30 days.
mm.
And it's like, yeah, but what happens then? Why? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So this is the
yeah,
thing about why, and you can keep asking why, but it's the it's the result at the end of it, isn't it? Isn't necessarily the why. How can you explain why for blood pressure? It just is. It's just everybody knows it's a good thing.
Mm.
If it's too high, to bring it down, especially if
Mm.
you're on medication. Everybody
But
knows
losing a
that.
couple of stone will help his blood pressure, will help his sleep, will help
Exactly.
his joints, will help everything, won't it? You know?
But losing a couple of stone is going to be a hell of a lot easier if you're in the right headspace to be
Oh
able to
God,
do
yeah.
that. Because otherwise, your cortisol levels are going to be up, and you're tired, and you're not sleeping well. Your body's just going to go, no, I'm not going to.
Mm.
You're not going to lose the weight.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
and his thing was like, I'm not moving enough, and it's like, well, there is that, but you're probably eating too much as well,
Yeah.
And then that's a well, okay, that's a bit harsh, and it's like, well, yeah, but that's how it is, right? I'm not going to tell you it isn't because it's not going to work otherwise.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah, there's a reason why you're 2, 3, 4 stone overweight or whatever it is.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
definitely, definitely.
exactly.
Dear me. Anyway, that was really good to catch up, and look forward to seeing you in. Yeah, the doors open in 48 hours time. So
Yep.
look forward to seeing you in 48 hours time in London. I think it's going to be a lovely evening there, lovely day.
As long as the trains are working okay, that'll be fine.
Yeah, brilliant. Cool. And thank you, everybody, for watching, for listening, for supporting us over. Well, I mean, that's episode 309. So 312 will be our sixth birthday. Yeah. So 312, episode 312, we would have been doing weekly podcasts every single Friday for 6 years. So that's only 3 weeks away. So that's brilliant.
Consistency over the long haul.
Consistency, exactly, indeed. And yeah, so thank you because we are podcasters, aren't we, Pete?
Apparently, yeah, yeah,
That's our
um,
character now. That's part of our character.
yeah.
Yeah.
I need to put that in my bio.
Okay. And yeah, we will see you next week, guys, for episode 310. Please do leave us some reviews on Apple Podcasts if you can. Do that. Like, share, subscribe, leave a review. And we'll see you next week for episode 310. Until then, bye bye.
Well, hey.